welcome to Black Crow Gaming's Custode Tactica video. I'm your host Aaron, I'm from Black Crow Gaming, and I am happy to be back. I tried to record this a couple weeks ago, and I've been so unwell. I've had flu after flu, and just coughing and coughing, but I'm back. And I'm back to do an exciting tactics video for the Adeptus Custodes Tactics. If you like my content, please feel free to hit those magical YouTube buttons. I like the big thumbs up button. If you can hit that subscribe, it's really helpful. And to hit that bell notification, it's really useful as well. And much appreciated. Today we are going to be talking about the new detachment. But before we do that, I have two lovely sponsors who sponsor this channel, and that is Glasshammer Gaming and Terrain Forge. Their discount codes will be in the bottom in the description below, but if you want 5% off, they're the two places you need to go. Glasshammer already do lovely 15-20%. Why not take an extra 5? An extra 5 just for you. Anyway, let's get to it. The Solar Spearhead detachment. Oh boy, it's been exciting. So, the Solar Spearhead detachment, I thought I'd give you guys one Forgeworld list and one non-Forgeworld list. And just to recap what that detachment is. So, the special rule is Auric Armour. Adeptus Custodes vehicles, excluding aircraft, at starting strength, add 2 to the objective control to the models in that unit, which is really tasty. Walking around with these models that are already OC4, OC3 respectively, going up to OC5 and OC6, you've got to commit a unit to go onto that objective, and you don't necessarily want to go onto that objective with that big hulking Auric armor filled custodian dreadnought, because let's be honest, they're pretty scary. So there's more to this rule though. Adeptus Custodes vehicles, when it's below starting strength, reroll a hit roll of a 1 for each attack. So that's right, so when your vehicles get damaged by just one wound, singular wound, they get better. They're already hitting on 2s, they're rerolling 1s, there's a high chance their dice are probably going to allow you to hit. So that makes those models wildly efficient at hitting. But there's more. When the vehicle goes below half strength, bear in mind, our dreadnoughts also, they don't get worse as they get weaker. But when you go below half strength, wound rolls of a 1 for each attack, you re-roll it as well. So you re-roll your hit roll of a 1 and you re-roll your wound roll of a 1 for each attack made. That is tasty, making them very efficient at killing things. Exactly what we want. We want our dreadnoughts to kill things. So they don't get a huge amount of attacks, but what they do is efficient, and that's what we want them to be. The next rule is Moritoi Ancients. Add 2 to the move characteristics of models in Adeptus Custodes Walker units from your army, and add 1 to the advanced charge rolls made for such units. I can tell you now, folks, that makes your custodians rapido. Makes them so fast, makes your walkers really quick. So just to give you some context as well, your Telemon now moves 10 inches. It can advance up to 7 inches and can charge up to 13 inches. So that means it's got a 30-inch threat range, which is insane. Now, you'll probably say, well, you know, how can you do that? You can't move, advance and charge. But for 1 CP, these dreadnoughts can do exactly that. They can move, they can advance, and they can charge. It makes the dreadnought threat real. And my god, if you have the CP, you run them forward, you tank shock, you get into combat, all of a sudden you're doing an insane amount of damage. And it's tasty. So let's carry on with this recap. So there's been some good enhancements. The Adamantine Talisman, the Augury Uplink, the Honoured the Fallen, all good enhancements. You want giving rerolls to infantry around you, nice. Giving the rerolls to stuff around you is just nice. It's just good. Being able to have a 5 at Feel No Pain, really tasty. Adding extra strength and damage, again, really tasty. They all have a place and they can all work. And the stratagems are basically just all good. All 6 stratagems are just really good. So one thing I see a lot of is people asking, well, I don't have all of the Forgeworld dreads. I've only got um, the normal the normal Games Workshop ones, and that's not a problem. You can still make an effective list. This currently, Solar Spearhead, it's an A tier army detachment. It's probably our best custodian detachment. Talons does extremely well, and maybe that is still our best one, but we haven't got any real data to suggest otherwise that this isn't our best one. It certainly looks good. Now, I am a little bit worried about going into this new meta with this with this Dreadnought attachment. And the reason I'm worried is because I think we're going into a vehicle heavy meta. And you're probably thinking, Aaron, what makes you think we're going into a vehicle heavy meta? Well, Space Marines are extremely good. They've got that, when they O for target, it's +1 to wound. Vindicators, Ballistas Dreadnoughts, they're still really good. Ballistas, you're going to see them everywhere. Just about every Space Marine player that I know has got 3 in their list because they're so cheap and efficient. Now, these things aren't good for us. But yes, if we get in combat with them, it's great. But you literally have to play this real storm the opponent and get in combat ASAP. But it is a bit overly reliant on you owning Forgeworld. But there are some cool lists that I've come up with. So, this is the non-Forgeworld list at 2,000 points. I've given that Blade Champion Warlord at Adamantium Talisman. And the reason I've done that is because he's very tasty with an extra strength and another damage to his output. He already has the Dev Wound characteristic on the 3 damage profile. That's now 4. That is very nice at killing just about anything. Then I'll put your Warlord as a Venerable Dreadnought. They're the ones that can get back up on a 2+. Very good. With the Augury Uplink. That's giving it that 5-up Feel No Pain, which is really valuable. You've then got another 2 Venerable Dreadnoughts. All of these Dreadnoughts, by the way, have got the Melters. I've then put in a Venerable Land Raider because vehicles in this detachment can go through walls. You can also make it so that they can shoot and advance, making them very quick. Now, bear with me. I've also put in a unit of 6 Alaris Custodians. Alaris are just super tough, and coming out of that Land Raider could be really horrible threat for your opponent to have to deal with. Then got your 5 Wardens, and they're going to be going with your Blade Champion, ready to kind of run off into different directions. I've then put in 2 Virtus Praetors. These Virtus Praetors can be with either the Missile variant or the Hurricane Bolts. It doesn't really matter. 2x4 Prosecutors, just for kind of a little bit of objective play. You want to be able to go out there and get some bits. And then the Calidus Assassin, jumping up, dropping down, doing the business, scoring us lots of points. I really like this list. I think this list has legs. Be interested to see how it would do in a competitive setting. But I think now that we're able to just move vehicles through walls, the Venerable Land Raider has all of a sudden become really good. And I think really... And it just offers that secure way of deploying those Alaris as well. 6 Alaris coming out who do now have Fight on Death. It's quite scary. And it's not something your opponent's just going to be able to just deal with easily. Especially if it goes into the right target. Remember, it's got rerolls against vehicles. It's got rerolls to wound against character units. You're going to be going in with 30 attacks, Alaris, whose shooting is good, combat is good, coming out of that Land Raider. Bear in mind, you move that Land Raider forward, you get them out free, and then you can charge. And that can now just go through walls. That's really tasty and really scary, and I like it as a delivery method. And I think if you don't own Forgeworld, this is something you could consider to still get the best out of that detachment rule. The Forgeworld army list is the one I think you're going to see an awful lot of. Triple Telemon, baby. 3 of those bad boys. They are excellent in this detachment. So I've got 1 Telemon with the double fists and the Augury Uplink. Basically, he's the walking through, punching stuff, 5-up Feel No Pain. Very tasty. I've got then the Telemon with 1 fist and 1 Arachnid Storm Cannon. And then I've got another Telemon with the double Storm Cannon. I just think the Storm Cannons, I like them because they pump out an awful lot of shots. They're basically, you just want them for the dev wounds. So you're killing chaff, you can kill big stuff quite reliably. Well, I say you're not killing it, you're just doing a lot of damage to it. But then you're getting into combat with it. You've then got 3 venerable dreadnoughts, the ones that get back up again. They're the ones who are going off and getting your objectives for you. You've got your 2 Caladius grav tanks, the staple in every Forge World based list. 2x2 Virtus Praetors with the Hurricane Bolters. Now, the reason I've done that is because I think you've got enough anti-tank, and I think these are just good at killing Space Marines, of which you're going to see a lot of. And then 3x4 Prosecutors. Prosecutors everywhere, just going off scoring you points. And I like this list. I think both have got ways to play. Both could do an awful lot of damage. I think the Forge World list you're going to see a lot of, and I think that's what people are going to run. But if you don't have Forge World and you want to run Solar Spearhead Detachment, something along those lines that I've shown you could be really cool. Bikes have had a glow up. They're now toughness 7. They've got their 5 wounds. They're actually very tough to kill, and I think if you use them the right way, it can be really efficient. And time will tell about where we're going to end up going with this detachment. The Nottingham GT in the UK is coming up. That is one of the biggest tournaments in the country. 500 players, I think it is, roughly. And that's going to give us a huge amount of data. Do I think we're going to be top of the meta? No. Do I think we're going to be doing what better? Absolutely. Do I think this detachment will help us? 100%. Do I think, though, the other detachments are still worth taking? And I do. I think Talent is still good. I think Shield Host is now good. I think Custodes are in a better place because some of our Predators got worse. Don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be tough. A heavy vehicle meta is not necessarily great for Custodes, and we're going to be relying on us just getting in people's face as quickly as possible. But only time will tell. We need to see how it ends up, where we end up, and I'll be back to talk about that. So I am going to Nottingham, and if you see me at Nottingham GT in under the UKTC, please feel free to come say hello. I'd love to talk all things Custodes. My friend Toby's been doing some amazing work with Dark Angels videos and Space Marines Chaos. He's been really putting out some content, so if you have an opportunity, go see that as well. I'm hoping to be back next week. I'm hoping this to be fit. I apologise that I've been away. I hope everyone has had a lovely Christmas and New Year, and thank you for watching my video. Take care.